G'day there guys, it's your main man Marky, back at it again with some more Entitled Parent stories. I upload here daily, and if you don't want to miss out, then you better smash that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Anyway cobbers, it's time to sit back, relax, chuck a prawn on the barbie, and enjoy these Entitled Parent stories. Entitled neighbor shoots at porcupine and almost kills me in the process. This happened a few months ago while I was shooting one of my rifles in my backyard. The rifle is a Moss & Nagant, which is a rifle from World War II. For those who know guns or have never heard of one, it's a caliber in between .308 Winchester and .3-06 Springfield, and it's bolt action. So on that particular day, I was shooting at some gallon jugs I set up 100 yards away and started to shoot. After I shot 3 rounds, and the 4th decided to jam and it wouldn't load. I then sat on the ground and I got the bullet, unjammed, and just as I was about to stand up, I heard a gunshot from my entitled neighbor's house, and I heard a zing right above my head, and I knew it was a bullet. I then proceeded to stop and go back up to my house, and I tell my mum about it. She then calls the entitled neighbor, and entitled neighbor explains that her and her husband didn't hear me shooting my rifle. Well, that's a straight up lie, and thought that it was okay to shoot a porcupine that was apparently destroying trees on both of our properties, and thought that it was in a safe shooting direction. And she then proceeded to start to fake cry and apologize profusely on the phone. Remember kids, always shoot in a safe direction and know what's beyond your target. Edit. I forgot to mention that entitled neighbor and her husband let their son shoot the porcupine. Edit 2. Wow, I didn't really expect to get this many upvotes on this. Our next story was posted by a user, Cochlear Cass, titled, Entitled Mother Steals My Water Bottle, Doses Child with Vicodin. So, this happened a few days ago while my sister and I were out at the park. My sister and I are both deaf, but I have CIs, which allows me to functionally hear. I had surgery a few days prior and was given painkillers, which is Vicodin, to help manage pain afterwards to keep me comfortable while I healed. My sister and I were sitting at a park bench eating some ice creams that she bought from an ice cream truck that circled the park around noon or so, on a nice weekend day. We were signing to each other as we do, just discussing our day and what we had planned. I carry my water bottle with me everywhere I go because my hydration game is on point, so I put stickers on it. Some Pokemon stickers, mostly Gen 1, with some of the newer gens on there too. Some small child, roughly about 3 to 4, comes up and asks me what stickers on my water bottle were, and since he's a cute and polite child, I told him, and signing for my sister what was being said. Cue, entitled mother. This middle-aged woman rushes over and tells the child to not talk to strangers, especially ones like us. Confused, I ask, like us? What do you mean? She turns around, her son's arm in her grip, and stares. I don't want gang members influencing my son. I look shocked, I assume as I was taken aback by this. I attempt to dispel her unfounded fear and let her know my sister and I are signing to each other. Sign language? Entitled mother scoffs, and turns around, leading her son away. I think the interaction is over, so I grab a pill out of my jacket and open my water bottle to take my pill. Before I had a chance to pop the pill into my mouth, with water bottle still in hand, I feel it get yanked out of my hand, and in surprise, I dropped the pill. I turn around, and there is entitled mother handing the bottle to her son. My son's thirsty and needs water now so he doesn't dehydrate, says entitled mother. It's a water bottle, and if she wants to steal it, then whatever. I don't care. It's not worth the effort to be confrontational over $20 of a water bottle. Then, cute kid coughs and sputters but recovers. Mummy, her bottle had a bug in it. My heart sinks as I realize that in all likelihood that it was a pill and not a bug. I quickly try to tell her my suspicions, but she shoves the bottle back into my hands and tells me I should probably clean it and I shouldn't be taking drugs with kids around. Which, okay, fair point, but it's a pill, not an injection. I again try to convince her to take her child to the doctor to be safe, but she insists that he'll be fine and to stop harassing her. Doing the responsible thing, I call 911, explaining to the dispatcher what had just happened. She said that she would dispatch emergency services and officers to handle it. I explained to the officer and EMS what happened, and that I think that the child may have unknowingly ingested a Vicodin pill, as I couldn't find the missing pill, and the child's description of something being in the water concerned me. The officers and EMS were successful in convincing the mother to transport them to the hospital. The officer came back to talk with me and had to call another officer to take my sister's statement, since obvious conflicts of interests exists for me interpreting for my sister. The officer said that she admitted to taking the bottle out of my hands, so even if I had purposely placed the pill into the bottle, that I was not at fault. We gave the officers our information and went about our day. I hope the cute kid is okay. I felt really bad that he probably got his stomach pumped. Oh, yikes. Our next story was posted by user Capital Replacement 0, titled, "Does your parent take your things? Mine does, especially when they're from my partner." I don't know what the frick is wrong with her, honestly. I've been thinking back since childhood to the point of adulthood, and I must say, she often thought my things were hers. For example, an office teddy bear I got from a coworker on my graduation day. She snatched it and kept it with her the whole dang day. She wouldn't even let me hold the damn bear. But whatever, that's not the story. The story was, while I was in the beginning of dating my partner, he would buy me gifts and vice versa. He once bought me chocolates and a lip balm collection thing. Me being me, seeing as these things were from him, I only touched the chocolates, but the lip balm, I kept them like how they were. Until my entitled mother but adoptive mother found them. This happened a few years back, so don't worry, she no longer takes my things. And she says, "Oh, these are nice. Who's it from?" Me, I say my boyfriend's name. "How nice of him." "Yeah, they smell nice too, so I'm gonna keep them like how they are." So I put them in the fridge. I wrote my name on it with a note that said, "Don't touch." But who, and since when, ever listened to that crap? Oh, not my adoptive mother, obviously. Because a few days have passed, my partner asked if I had used them at all. I said they were from him, so I didn't want to open the package. You know, too sentimental. But it did make me think if the lip balm was there at all. So I went to look and voila, the thing was gone. Me asking everyone in the house, except adoptive mother, "Have you guys seen the collection at all?" All that I asked said nope, so I moved on. Entitled mother, "What the heck are you looking for?" Me, "The lip balm thing." Entitled mother, "The one from your boyfriend?" "Tisk, you should have kept it in a safe place so no one could touch it." "Well, I didn't know that we hoard a thief in the house." "It wasn't a thief, I borrowed it." "What? Since when?" "You said I could borrow it, so I did." "When?" "When you got the thing." "I would never say anything as stupid as that. Why would I let anyone open the collection?" "Ah, whatever, they're used anyway. I gave a couple of them to my office friends." "What made you think that that was okay to do that?" Her reply was amazing. "I am your mother. I can do whatever I want. That thing should have been mine anyway. I'm sure your boyfriend would say so. What kind of man is he anyway? Not buying me gifts and stuff?" Face palmed like madness. I legit screamed at her and told her to take everything back in one piece, or otherwise I'd be even more angry. She eventually did, out of spite. She went telling everyone also how I stopped taking my medication, so I went insane. I don't know what the heck she was even on about, but okay. Apparently, she gave them the lip balm collection and told them she went abroad, and this was her souvenirs to her colleagues. After the lip balm, she continued to pull crap like this. Up until she met my partner's family, obviously. Then things got worse. There you go, another entitled story of mine. And our next story was posted by user VoteDog, titled, "Halloween entitled mother sees porch light off, doesn't give a crap, proceeds to ring my bell over and over, then has a cow when I don't have candy." So, I am a migraine sufferer, and they pop up at the worst possible times. One Halloween a few years ago, I had a terrible one and had to ditch the idea of answering the door for trick-or-treaters. Since I was so sensitive to light and noise, I turned off our porch light, other house lights, and went to bed. As soon as it got dark, it started. My doorbell ring over and over, even though there were no lights on in the house. Every time it happened, my dogs would go nuts, making even more noise and making me hurt even more. I ignored it for as long as I could, but when someone leaned on the doorbell and rang it over and over and over again, I finally flew out of bed and ripped the door open, ready to go off. I expected to see a kid to be the one ringing the bell, but it was a Karen, which is our entitled mother. Behind her were two little kids, dressed adorably, holding pillowcases. What the frick, lady? Porch light off is the international sign for no candy. Entitled mother acted as if she's unearthed an amazing secret. I knew you were home! She shoos the kids up to me and they yell out, trick or treat! And thrust their pillowcases at me. I had a huge bag of candy in the kitchen, but I was so upset I totally forgot about it. Me. Girls, I'm sorry, but I don't have any candy. That's why my porch light was off. To entitled mother I say, I don't feel well. I purposely turned off my lights so that I wouldn't be disturbed by children tonight. You should not be knocking on doors with no lights on. Entitled mother. It's Halloween. Surely you can suck it up for a few hours to do something that makes children smile. How can you not have any candy? I'm sure you have something in your kitchen you can give me. My head is throbbing. I can't believe this woman. Me. Something in my kitchen? Yes. What else do you have that you can give them since you weren't prepared? The kids can sense that I'm frustrated and angry. They start to walk down the driveway away from us, hoping their mum would follow them to a house that actually has candy. Me. You better go get your kids, they're leaving. Entitled mother. Not until you give them something. They are owed that. It's Halloween, you selfish tramp. She calls them to come back to the porch. They reluctantly wander closer. Okay, fine. I got a bottle of ketchup or a box of noodles. How about a frozen burrito or a pack of oatmeal? Does that fit your criteria? Get off my property, this is absurd. Entitled mother. You're the absurd one. My kids deserve Halloween treats, and you couldn't even bother to pick any up. I'm gonna tell other parents about you so they avoid your house. I laughed out loud. Promise? Yay, thanks. That would be very helpful. And I slammed the door in her face. I did feel bad for her kiddos. They got a crappy ass mum. And our next story was posted by user Worse Witch, titled, My son's traditionally flat cider is flat! Angry mother confused about strong alcoholic beverage, annoyed that drinking age laws apply to her son too. I'm in the UK. The legal alcohol drinking age is 18 here. ETA, yes, there are nuances that I am obviously aware of, but these do not apply in this instance. I work in an extremely busy pub that sells drinks in takeaway cups to drink outside, an especially popular option in the summer when this story happened. Me, female late 20s. Entitled mother and kid come in at the busy bar. I clocked them when they walked in. Kid looks around 15 years old. At the point when she is ordering her drinks to take away, the kid is outside. She orders a pint of scrumpy, which is strong still, traditional cider, and a Coke without saying a word, dispassionately prodding the signage with her manicured finger without even registering my existence. I repeat her order back to her, pour her drinks and tell her how much. She ignores my offered hand and drops a note and a pile of coins in the bar, barely within awkward reach. I politely ask her if she wouldn't mind putting the coins in my hand. She ignores me and says, "Keep the change," and walks out. After she leaves, I awkwardly pretzel myself around many ale pumps to fumblingly pick up the coins from the bar, count them out, finish the transaction in the till, and pop the extra 5p in the tips jar, then go on to serve the next customer. A few minutes later, I'm aware of her beckoning me from over at the no-service end of the bar, holding the pint of scrumpy. I make eye contact and give her a nod, then turn to finish serving the customer I have just poured a drink for. Entitled mother from across the room. Excuse me? Me. Hang on, 1 minute please, I'm just serving this man. Excuse me? I finish serving the man. Me. Is everything okay? Entitled mother, thrusting the pint into my hands. This cider is completely flat. Sorry for the confusion, but this is a traditional scrumpy. It's meant to be Entitled mother, interrupting and patronizingly. I know what cider is supposed to be like. This is flat. I want you to pour another one in a fresh glass, and put some life into this one. Can I suggest you might want to try a different cider? We have a hard cider on keg that might be more what you were expecting. I ordered what I wanted. What I was expecting was that you might know how to pour a pint. Do you want to try again, or shall I ask him to pour it for me? She points at my male colleague. Excuse me? My son barely had a sip of that, and he won't even drink it. Me, shocked now. You gave that to your kid. Entitled mother, sputtering a little. Well, he's over 18? Me, is he? I had seen him. He certainly did not look a day over 15. Entitled mother must have noticed at this point that she was on to a loser, because the next thing you know, she's gesturing towards the pint of scrumpy still in my hands. Oh, just give it back to me. I don't have time for this. Sorry, but I can't do that. I have paid for that. I get the money, plus her 5p tip, from the till and extend it towards her. She won't take it. I want the drink I paid for. Well, you see, if you can come in with your son and a valid photo ID, providing he is of Entitled mother, bits of spit flying. He is my son! He doesn't need an ID! I'm with him! I am his mother! Me. Sorry, but it's the law. Please take your money. I don't want an argument. Fine, it's for me. I place the cider on the back bar out of her reach. Close my eyes, take a deep breath. 3, 2... I want to speak to your manager! Yep, there it is. I haven't even opened my mouth to tell her that I am the manager, before she is striding over to my male colleague, who has clearly been rubbernecking while serving customers and cannot wait to get involved. Entitled mother. I need to complain about your employee. She has no customer service skills and clearly doesn't know how to pour a pint. CO can barely keep a straight face. Oh, sorry to hear that. I'll make sure she's fired immediately. Now, you'll pour a decent pint, won't you? No, my pints are crap. What? Not gonna do it. 8% scrumpy isn't the best gateway alcohol for kids, by the way. Just saying. Entitled mother sputters and storms out, muttering something about leaving a bad online review. I turn to CO and say his name reprimandingly. CO, you should not have said that. Sorry, couldn't help it. You shouldn't have said your pints are crap. You pour a lovely pint. Our next story was posted by user Capital Replacement O, titled, My 4XL mother thought she could fit into my medium shirt. Few edits before the story begins. Edit 1. Thanks everyone for worrying about me again, lol. Don't worry, I've moved out and been buying my own clothes. This story happened a few years back and it's still fresh in my memories, only because it showed me how fricked my adopted mother was in the head. Edit 2. Thank you so much for the award. Thank you for all the comments. I will find the clothes I really like now. So, after receiving many supports on the last post, and also caused some worries within readers, I thought I'd tell you the story of my adopted mother, and it might make you laugh. I'm on mobile, so I will try to structure this out as properly as I possibly can. So, I grew up being underweight, 162 centimeters tall, 50 kilograms in weight. Then I went to America for 12 months. I came home with the extra 15 kilograms weight gained, and it was super traumatizing. The first thing my adopted mom said when she saw me, "Oh my god, you're a giant now," while she had her 4XL body squeezed into a 2XL top, and some pants that showed the line of her underwear. "You gotta lose weight. Maybe be pretty like your cousin?" I still remember this because I just got back home and she, instead of welcoming me, made comments about my weight, my face, and everything. Anyways, a few months later, I managed to lose 5 kilograms. But I was never big when I gained weight either. However, my adopted mum would fit me into these 4XL clothes, so I felt like I was too big for medium clothing. But that's not what my adopted mother saw. She thought I was the same size as her, so she'd keep donating her ginormous clothes to me. Then I found this one shirt that she previously owned. It's a brown top with satin fabric. The buttons are aligned perfectly. Its shape is for professional social gatherings. However, it was a medium size, so I didn't know if I could fit into it at all. I thought I was as big as those people on the My 600 Pounds Life show. I tried it, it fitted. I looked great for once. I looked like a normal human being and not a drug dealer wannabe with the clothes that I had been wearing. My adopted mum saw me wearing it but didn't say anything. She just looked at me then walked away. I asked if I could keep it and she nodded. A couple of weeks passed by and I was on a trip with my current partner. I got back home to get ready for the new semester at the university that I saw that shirt. EM, my adopted mother, GM, my grandmother, and me is me, obviously. Grandma, what happened to this? GM, I don't know, kiddo. Looks broken though. It is broken. The buttons are missing and the underarm sleeves are kaput. At least it was washed? GM, I don't think the washing machine could have done that either. Ask your mother. So I took the shirt and asked my mother. EM, what is it now? Me, the shirt is ruined. Wear it properly next time then. I was gone for weeks and didn't take it with me. Well, it is only you who wear that shirt. I doubt it. So I asked her if she still wanted it. Obviously it didn't fit me. What do you mean? It's broken, can't you see? Yeah, and I'm wondering why it's broken. It didn't fit me, duh. So you wore it? Then she went quiet. Obviously I wore it because we're the same size. You're even bigger, so it should fit me if it fit your 4XL body. I went quiet. I looked at her and just face-palmed, really. I mean, how is a medium gonna fit a 4XL body? This was the first time I actually noticed how fudging delusional my adopted mother was and still is. The top got wrecked by her, and she was pretty flabbergasted as to how it was destroyed when she wore it, lol. Frick my life, that top could never be replaced. It was the only piece of clothing article that made me look like a human being. Our next story was posted by a user, Satanist in Love, titled, My soon-to-be mother-in-law is an entitled parent. EMIL, entitled mother-in-law, Nick is my fiancé, which is a fake name, OP is me, and WP is the wedding planner. Yes, that's true. I don't know how an amazing guy has the most entitled mother ever. 4 years ago, I met Nick at a cafe, and 2 years later, we started dating. The year of dating, he proposed on Valentine's Day. Now, his mother doesn't like me, mostly because I'm not religious and I do my own thing. Even though Nick left religion before he met me, she blames me for bringing Lucifer into his life. We are having a gothic graveyard wedding on Halloween, mostly our wedding of dreams. We love Halloween and old graveyards. We asked, and as long as we don't disrespect graves or anything, we are allowed to have a wedding there. Wedding planner did an amazing job with everything, including finding a new reception venue when the other one cancelled. We might be going to court for that one. So we sent out invites to everyone, including his mother. This is the text I gotten. EMIL. Why aren't you getting married in a church? That's my dream for him. Me. Because we're not religious and the graveyard wedding was his idea. EMIL. So, I'm going to look horrible because my son is marrying a demon girl. Entitled mother-in-law, I'm sorry that you feel that way. It's our day, so please put differences aside for your son and come to the wedding. Everything went downhill. Wedding planner called me and asked if I change my flowers to real ones and have my theme change. She literally got a hold of the wedding planner and told her that I wanted a traditional wedding now and to find a church. Thankfully, I cleared up and made a password to make sure entitled mother-in-law can't do more damage. She told everyone that she's the groom's mother and it's her day. So I text her back and I say, can you please stop ruining your son's wedding? We worked very hard to have this day. If you can't stop, you will not be invited. Nick is very stressed out because of you and it's not fair. It's my day, not his. You are a demon girl ruining his life. He shouldn't have even asked you to marry him. I might make a part 2 to this. She is literally very entitled. Edit. Thank you for the love and support. I will make a part 2 after my wedding and honeymoon. Those who ask, no, entitled mother-in-law didn't cancel the reception venue. The venue screwed us over, that's why I might be going to court. I want the $3,000 back that they said in the contract. Honestly, I just post this as a stress relief, and I didn't expect this to blow up like it did. But thank you for the gold and silver. Hey, I'll look for a part 2, and if they did one, I'll post it too. Oh, look, well, what do you know? I found it instantly. So, this is by Satanist in Love, entitled Mother-in-Law Part 2. Okay, my wedding happened, and she came. Not only that, she objected to the marriage. Let's start this because I'm still mad and I'm back from the honeymoon. My wedding day. It was a beautiful day. I have on my black wedding dress and did a first look. He cried and he kissed me. Nick and his groomsmen were at the altar waiting for the music. Anthem Lights Wedding Day medley. The aisle walk was beautiful, and I noticed entitled mother-in-law in the crowd wearing a white dress. I just kept calm and just looked at Nick. We actually did the vows from Corpse Bride, and when the person doing the wedding asked if anyone objects, she runs up and held my husband. She prayed that he'll leave me and go home. I was shocked and she tried to drag him away. You don't love her. It was a phase. Come home and go back to church. We'll find better. Nick. Mum, don't you see that I love her and she's carrying your grandchild? She's not a demon. She's so amazing. She pulled me out of depression. She brought the light to me when I was afraid to leave the darkness. Why can't you see that? If it wasn't for her, I think I'd be dead because no one else in the world understands me like she does. Depression is just in your head. She's carrying a demon child. God will save you. Leave. Just go and leave us alone. You are not welcome in our lives till you accept her. You'll never see your first grandchild till you do. You can't do that. She left and the wedding went on as planned. The reception venue was beautiful and food was amazing. The photographer caught beautiful pictures. I married my soulmate and best friend. Honestly, sorry if it wasn't exciting and short, but she won't be around for a long time. Maybe she might accept us or live her life not knowing her grandchild. It's on her. And our last story was posted by user Blat to Death, titled, Entitled Mother Slaps Me Across the Face for Defending Myself from Her Aggressive Child. Yep, you read that right, but hold your horses, we'll get there in a minute. So I have been lurking in here for a while and finally decided to tell my story. This happened many years ago, late 90s, maybe early 2000s, and I was 8 to 9 at the time, and will try to relay to the best of my recollection. The cast is quite varied, so pardon me if I don't make a list and instead name them as they come into play. Also, English is not my first language, so pardon me for any mistakes. Backstory. Both of my grandparents, GM and GP, come from very big families, both with at least 6 siblings each, if not more. So as a result, I have a lot of aunts and uncles, and therefore a lot of cousins. They have 3 children and ended up with 4 grandchildren, whom they dearly love more than anything else in the world. Now, I am the first grandchild they got. I am a male, I was named after my grandpa. You can imagine that I held a special place in their heart. They have always tried to be impartial and love everyone equally, but you could tell that they loved me just a little bit more. My grandmother happens to have a sister, entitled Grandmother, who is, for a lack of a better word, a harpy. She has a daughter, entitled Mother, who unfortunately didn't fall far from the tree. Both chain smokers, ended up single mothers. Wonder how that might have possibly happened. Bitter and gossipy as they come. Entitled Mother has a son, entitled Kid, an only child at the time who, as you can imagine, had only one possible personality outcome with a family like that. They often come to our house, much to my displeasure, to drink coffee with my grandmother and basically fill her living room with smoke until you can't even breathe. Grandmother has always helped them in every way possible she could, given them money without expecting anything in return, cooked for them when they could not afford food, etc. For some reason, they never liked me, and always spoke to me with a false, simpery smile and a sweet condescending tone. So of course I tried to have as less interaction with them as I possibly could. So on to the story. We're at a cousin's birthday party. Not entitled Kid, but a first grade cousin, son of my grandmother's oldest child, my aunt. So a second grade cousin to entitled Kid, but that's irrelevant to the story. And if anyone else is wondering, that's confused me too. I don't know anything about this family tree. Me and my sister are there with my grandmother, the adults unwinding in the dining room, and the kids playing together in the living room. So we are in the living room playing with my cousin's toy guns, and I get one of the nicer ones. Entitled Kid doesn't like that, so he tries to get the gun from me, and by tries, I mean he starts kicking me, biting me, tries to rip the gun from my hands, screaming like a banshee in the process. I, being a couple of years older than him, managed to keep the gun out of his reach by holding it over my head, when suddenly, I see a set of adult legs rush over to us, and a much stronger hand just yanks the gun from me. Yep, you guessed it, it was Entitled Mother. Entitled Kid in the meantime is still kicking and biting me, so I, no longer having my hands occupied by the gun, use them to just shove him away with all my might. And that's when I feel it, wham! Right across my face, so hard that it causes me to fall down to the ground. I start crying and my nose starts bleeding. All the room freezes, and all the kids stop playing. Too shocked with what had just happened, my auntie, GM, and Entitled Grandmother get alerted by me crying and run into the room. GM sees me crying, blood pouring from my nose, and runs over to console and assist me. Conversation ensues as following. Aunt: "What happened here?" Entitled Mother angrily: "He took the gun away from Entitled Kid and then hit him." Me, in between sobbing: "That's not true. He was biting and kicking to get the gun I was playing with from my hands. And she came and took it away and hit me for pushing him away because he was hurting me." Entitled Grandmother: "Liar! Entitled Kid would never do such a thing. I always knew you were a nasty little crap who deserves some more beating so he can learn how to behave." How she knew this, no bloody idea. I've always been a skinny little runt who loved sitting in the corner reading a book or playing video games more than anything else in the world. No predisposition to sports or violence whatsoever, and got way more beating than a kid should, between the bullies at school and abusive parents at home. She then proceeds to hug Entitled Kid and keeps hurling insults after insults under her breath at me. At this point, you can see a vein pushing on Grandmother's forehead. She turns to my cousins and the other kids in the room and asks them what happened. The kids obviously corroborate my story, not Entitled Mother's. She starts yelling, calling everyone liars, little craps, when suddenly my grandmother goes, "Shut up!" And my grandmother never yells, shouts, or raises her voice. So Entitled Mother, taken aback, goes speechless. Grandmother, with a fury so cold rushing through her voice, it could solve the global warming issue by freezing everything over. "I have always helped you. I have always given you money when you needed," Entitled Grandmother. "But," Grandmother, raising her voice, "I could have cooked you food when you didn't have it. I helped you every time I could, and you go ahead and raise your hand on my grandchild for a toy? But he hit Entitled Kid first, liar! I don't ever want to see your faces again. Don't you dare knock on my door or ask me for a favor. You won't get anything from me, even if you were starving to death under a bridge. Get out! Get out!" Now, we're at my auntie's and uncle's place, not my grandmother's, so technically she has no authority to tell anyone to leave. My aunt? Silent. Not a word. Just stands there and lets Grandmother do her thing. Entitled Grandmother and Entitled Mother look shell-shocked, but quickly grab Entitled Kid, who is now crying, get their things, and leave. Party resumes shortly after that. Entitled Grandmother and her family didn't show their faces in my grandmother's house for over 6 months. The relationship mended only after they came over to apologize to me and Grandmother and brought some chocolate for me as an apology gift. Yes, they did need a favor from Grandmother. How very surprising. Anyway, thank you for powering through this. Brevity has never been my strong suit. I know it all seems absurd, but I can assure you that it really happened. Tried to keep it short, so I cut some things off. Feel free to ask anything in the comments and I'll answer to the best of my abilities. Alright guys, that was quite a long episode. If you liked it, tell me what you thought of it down in the comments below. There's also a Sleepy Time playlist. I'll link that in the comment down below. It's going to be pinned on every episode from now on. If you want to fall asleep listening to my sexy voice, you may well do that. You're very welcome to. Please just listen to the videos and help me bring the channel back to life. If there's anything else you guys would like to see, I'm open to other suggestions for the channel. I'll comment if I like the idea or not. Like I'm gonna do some r/just no mother-in-law. And yeah, if there's anything else you guys want to see, please feel free to tell me. I'll answer your questions, and I hope you have a good day. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.